Good evening. Welcome in daily UPSC tutorial program. Price of intervention. Consumer India's Amma Jans. E-commerce paste can't go back into the economic times. Now the full editorial. Price of intervention. The Times of India. Regulators can look at pricing, but be careful of creating market disruptions. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal's criticism of multinational e-commerce player for uh, pre- predatory pricing, which he argued damages mom and pop players and small retailers, revive an old debate in this country. It's true e-commerce giants have been accused of such tactics even in developed economies, but underlying this issue is a more fundamental one. Market economies are governed by demand and supply, and pricing is best left to the interplay of those forces. And governments and regulators must be very cautious about intervening in pricing mechanism. Global and local experience suggests that the price controls can lead to shortages, inferior product qualities, and illegal markets. Price interventions may have good intention, but they have often result in bad outcomes. As a World Bank paper said, market need free play. There are also several benefits of a market mechanism to consider here. For instance, the e-commerce boom has not just been a boom for consumers but also helped with formalization and digitization of economy and generated more than, by one estimate, 50 million jobs in the telecom sector. It is the entry of an Indian behemoth with aggressive pricing in 2016 that led to a fall in tariffs and data revolution in India. The sector which has seen tariffs rise again is also proof that beating competition with such a strategy has its limits. Fact is, no company can indefinitely keep suffering losses to gain market share. Regulate, but with caution. Besides, what is the line that separates competitive pricing from predatory or overpricing? We need very sound and efficient regulatory system to make such distinctions and balance market sanctity with ensuring a sector doesn't turn into a monopoly. There will certainly be cases where regulators need to step in. Take for instance the issue of surge pricing by taxi aggregators. There must be a ceiling on what passengers shell out in rush hour, but such interventions must be kept to a minimum. Concern for investment growth and job creation is also why formulation of India's e-commerce policy has been long delays. Create no major market disruptions must be the mantra. Consumer India's Amazons. Large e-commerce platforms haven't played out in India quite like in the West. Here they have empowered both small consumers and small suppliers. This is an inclusive growth story. Rama Bijapurkar, the writer, is a consumer behavior analyst. All modern market economies have regulations that define the rules of the marketplace and put checks and balances on players, especially big players. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal's criticism of large e-commerce players' practices, including predatory pricing, should be seen in this context. First, consumers' well-being is central to many of the rules. They prohibit unfair trade practices or abuse of dominance or mergers or price cartels or any behavior that destroys competitors, weakens competition, and creates monopolies, all of which are, as we know from pre 1991, are really bad for consumers. Such protection of consumers and competition is, of course, welcome. Plus, such rules apply to everyone, regardless of corporate nationality. Second, antitrust issue pitting regulators against big business. Business platforms have been increasing the world over, with big businesses accused of exploiting their power and hurting vendors and consumers. The US Federal Trade Commission and 17 US states have filed a lawsuit against Amazon's conduct, where it is accused of abusing its dominant position to keep prices high and quality low, limit competition, and depress innovation. Third, the opposite has happened in India. Indeed, before deciding how to deal with Amazon, we need to assess what its entry has done for consumers, small suppliers, and the future of competition in India. Like everything else in our country, there are many truths and perspectives, all true and valid, which need to be weighted carefully rather than blindly follow the best. Why Indian consumers embraced Amazon? With Amazon, consumer in India has got and embraced access to huge variety of goods made in India alongside imports. Lower prices, ease of buying, and service like never before. Earlier, you could not return even a defective item, leave alone something you don't like. No, consumer India is not being forced to buy pasta or no, or hot pants instead of sambar, powder or saris. It is being given the courtesy of choice. Varieties of packed cow dung are available if you are ritually inclined, and black rice at your doorstep if you are a homesick young shop girl from Meghalaya in Bangalore. Modest income consumers love the status blind service that e-commerce gives. Live in a slum and you get the same speed of delivery, price discounts, and ability to return as if you live in a big combo.
Okay, I found
big
this on the
condo.
web for which needed to be weighted carefully rather than blindly.
Uh, you live in big condo. Humans discriminate, digital platforms don't. A WhatsApp university jokes sums up consumer India's relationship with Amazon. The husband asks the wife to buy X, Y, and Z, and each time she says, "Amma Jan se pucho." Annoyed, he asks, "Why bring my mother into everything?" It turns out she means Amazon. Amazon prices have disciplined many a high street, a small electronic shop to reduce price the same way Narega forced many a rural employer to raise wages by providing price discovery and benchmarks. How Indian Kirana stood up to Amazon. What of competitors getting decimated and Amazon becoming the last man standing? One argument is that when we have seen predatory pricing in other categories like telecom, we have been sanguine, but beyond this there is more solid and nuanced evidence of market dynamics to consider. Small shops will continue to do well because consumer India's behavior is never either or but is and. Consumer India searches in small physical shops and buys on Amazon. Many of the small garment shops, by the way, neither have a trial room nor do they allow returns. Or researchers thoroughly on Amazon and buys from the neighborhood store to ensure easy related services. Kirana won effortlessly over physical modern retail by providing personalized value, and India has the largest number of vibrant small shops in the world. Quick commerce of Dungo and Jepto disrupts Kirana for grocery and pantry for more than Amazon. And finally, what will see the demise of the bigger town Kirana stores are newer settlement like Gurgaon or Powai, with no room for the shops, and Gen Next who don't want to sit in the shop 24 into 7, without which the business model does not work. New economy magic bullet. The most compelling argument encouraging marketplace platforms is that they are perfect for the structure of demand. India has platforms aggregate small businesses and create a virtual marketplace and provide a host of services that small businesses individually cannot afford, and provide more buyers than if located in a small alleyway somewhere. India's mega consumption story is best described as Lilliput land, lots and lots of small consumer earning and spending a little bit each. That adds up to a lot, served by millions of small suppliers oozing innovation and agility and consumer agility and customer intimacy, but lacking in access to the market and to resources of all kinds. Most big companies, including most multinationals, do not serve the mass market small consumer because they cannot make the profit they target and offer the performance consumers want at the price they can afford. At last, we have found the magic bullet in the new economy, which e-marketplaces are a part of. They aggregate existing small suppliers and small buyers and yoke them together digitally, and is a win-win for all. India's Lilliput consumers and suppliers has given many a MNC Gulliver a run for their money. Amazon will not destroy India's small. In fact, it will enhance them. Complaining small shops will shape up and serve consumers better or themselves from form alternative platform. The platform marketplace comprising the small is the future of India's mega consumption story. 1,000 flowers will bloom and coexist if only we allow it to happen. E-commerce paste can't go back in tube. The economic times. But concern for retailers, consumers is real. Piyush Goyal has reiterated the old alarm amongst politicians over the unbridled rise of e-commerce. Like paste out of a tube, it can't be put back in, especially in an emerging market with an overwhelmingly informal retail sector. The employment argument remains powerful, though in an economy that doesn't create enough factory jobs to absorb surplus farm labor. Typically, this has been choked up by a creaky retailing industry. E-commerce brings in efficiencies that create jobs, but not on the scale to offset the physical retailers it displaces. The latter also leverage advanced e-commerce logistics to improve market access, but again not to a degree that yields gain in market share. Lawmakers wade into this market asymmetry with good intentions. These concerns target consumer protection and predatory pricing. Regulations designed to protect privacy and discourage deep discounting can slow down the growth of e-commerce. Yet e-commerce derives its higher productivity from data on consumption behavior and large investments in logistics. Neither would be available to the small retailers unless e-commerce platforms provide it to them. This consideration governs the regulatory reflex. Besides, e-commerce offers a sophisticated bridge to export markets for small enterprises, and excessive regulation could work against national interest. Global rules have favored the growth of digital commerce through tax exemptions. These are now being re-examined from a revenue foregone perspective. Regulating this aspect of international e-commerce can cut both ways for economies trying to increase their share of manufacturing and services exports. The objective of regulation should be to encourage a bigger migration to e-commerce while keeping a tight vigil on concentration. Indian e-commerce policy has been proactive, and Goyal is articulating some of its more serious concerns over unregulated growth. These concerns must be heeded in one of the biggest available markets for e-commerce. Policy must co-evolve along with e-commerce to restrict the downside effects on consumers and retailers. Thank you.